Hello and welcome to Cup of Tea's 3-Minute Reviews. And the time it takes you to brew a cup of tea, we'll cover an entire movie. My name is Tim and I'm joined as always by Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Today's movie is Lionheart. It is a 1990 American action film starring Jean Claude Van Damme. Michael, please give us your hot take.
Tim, this movie was not my cup of tea. It wasn't a total disaster, but it wasn't quite good enough to clear that cup of tea mark for me. What about you?
No, this movie wasn't my cup of tea. I mean, like you said, there are worse things we've watched, but this one just doesn't quite clear it to make that cup of tea mark.
So Tim, give everyone a rundown. What's the movie about?
In this meandering movie that never quite settles on what it wants to be, Van Damme plays a soldier who goes AWOL and enters an underground fighting ring in order to earn money for his widowed sister-in-law. Michael, you say this wasn't your cup of tea. Please give us a few reasons why.
Let's start with the plot. The movie doesn't know which lane it wants to run in. There's a strong Fight Club story in this, very akin to some other movies Jean Claude Van Damme has done. There's also a family story about taking care of family. They try to do both of those things at once, and it just doesn't really work.
No, this movie is really a remake of Bloodsport, which was Van Damme's big hit movie in which he enters a fight ring. Now, this movie is trying to justify his fighting with all this extraneous elements, all these weird plot elements, his family. They're talking about a lot of different stuff. I mean, there's drug dealers, and there's crime, poverty. They have a lot of stuff about poverty in America. It doesn't add up to anything. All you really need if you're going to make a fighting ring movie is a fighting ring. And this movie just totally misses the mark on that.
Another way, too, it really missed for me was that they went too deep into the justification. They tried to make it so that the hero had to fight to make money to provide for his family. But he doesn't have to fight. He has a job at the start of the movie. Why not just provide for his brother's family with the money he is currently making? So they set up this thing where it's like he has to fight to take care of family, but it doesn't work because it's actually not necessary at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's already in the army, and he goes AWOL. Why go AWOL? Just send them your army checks, man. Big miss right off the bat.
The other big miss for me is the action.
Yeah.
It's poorly shot. It's badly choreographed. And that leads to a situation where the fighting feels slow to me. I feel like I'm just waiting for the next punches. Now, certainly we have a different view of action from the modern day with the John Wicks of the world than when this movie was shot. But it doesn't change the fact that the action's slow. There were movies at this time that did a better job.
Absolutely. I mean, the way they've chosen to shoot this, it's so clear that the punches aren't landing. I mean, Van Damme punches a guy in the face, but his fist is about a foot away from the guy, and you can tell. It's really poorly executed. It's boring. And also, I hate when bad guys are immune to punches. And it happens in the big fight here. Van Damme punches him, and the guy doesn't seem to feel it at all. But eventually, Van Damme's punches do work, and it's dumb. It just doesn't work at all. I don't appreciate it.
In one of our first reviews, Battleship 2012, you talked about consequential action. Yeah. Action, everything you do, needs to have a consequence that impacts the story. Mm-hmm. This movie doesn't do that when you have all those punches, and it pulls us out as viewers, and it makes the scenes not quite work.
Absolutely. Was there anything that did work for you about the film?
Jean Claude Van Damme's best friend is played by Harrison Page, who is incredible in this movie. He is all in, and when we talk about good, bad movies, being all in is key. Every time he was on screen, I was drawn in and I was compelled. Unfortunately, there's just nothing happening around him.
Yeah, he carries this movie on his shoulders. And when you've got a dumb action movie that really pulls on my heartstrings, which he does in several scenes, I just feel for him. He's so good in this movie. When would you recommend the film, Michael?
This is certainly not an A-tier Van Damme movie, certainly not A-tier for the period, but once you get through those top-tier movies that you expect, this is a good B-tier choice, and if you're into the genre, you might like it. What about you, Tim?
If you're looking for like a 90s style action movie, there are a lot worse movies you could do. Anything by Steven Seagal is going to be 10 times worse than this movie. Thank you guys for listening. This has been Cup of Tea's 3-Minute Reviews.